to my attraction. One step in the wrong direction. One choice is all you have to make. One ride in the world is ours to take. You're treading a thin red line when you're trying to read my mind. In here, the world is black or white. No rules apply, no wrongs or rights. Can you really tell me what is right or wrong when they're two sides of the same coin, viewed in different ways? The human paradox. Step right into pandemonium. Welcome to my delirium, my human paradox. The human
What is up, guys, and of course welcome back to another VPL or Valhalla Pokemon League battle. And this time we're going against Bazika64, or they may have Milotics. And yeah, quick rundown here about his team, as you guys can see on the screen. Or actually before that, this is of course the time we are going to go for Wi-Fi battle. If you want to skip the team preview and my team strat, this is the time you're going to go at. So see you there. Bye. For everybody else who stayed, as you guys see on my intro, this is my complete team, and the team I'm bringing are these 6. So Rhydon, Rapidash, Decidueye, and Alolan Ninetales did not make this Wi-Fi battle. And my opponent's team here is Tababulu, Yarashi, Meganetric, Suicune, Psygod, Komala, Comfey, Miss Mages, Incineroar, and Shuckle. So yeah, tough team. A very fat team in general, and my way to tackle this, since I can't bring offensive Pokemon, I definitely can bring it. I won't, basically because his team is fat enough to survive it. So I'm bringing a team here with a few momentum stoppers and a few offensive Pokemon to be able to deal with his team. Now, from the get-go, we're going from, of course, left to right. We have a Mega Metagross. No, not Mega Metagross, we have Metagross, which of course here are an Assault Vest variant with Meteor Mash, Bullet Punch, Earthquake, and Pursuit. Primary role here is to check Comfey and to possibly kill it, and actually deal with his Komala, his Yarashi, and Bulu to some extent. Yarashi is supposed to be Pursuit trapped here with this Pokemon, so this is definitely what I'm going with. Next one here is Jolteon, and this is a leftover set with heavy special defense investment to be able to deal with his Mega Manectric. Now, I don't win a one-on-one match versus Mega Manectric at all, but Jolteon can actually recover from the Thunderbolts or Volt switches that it could be doing and overheat while doing around really close to 50%. If it's a timid set, it is still not enough to it KO me. This is something to have in mind, that I can annoy it very, very well. And with Jawn, I can definitely ruin its pacing. Garchomp, Scarf's variant this time, with Stealth Rocks, Poison Jab, Earthquake, and Dragon Claw, I do believe. A very standard set. It's here to basically deal with the Pokemon that can survive, such as Mega Manectric, but also Yarashi. I do want to outpace them, I do want to kill them as simply as possible, really. The only Pokemon taking it on are Suicune and Tababulu. Primarily Tababulu. This is why we have the Poison Jab, to be able to at least force it out to some extent and possibly kill it. But yeah, standard set, and I really just want to Rocks up with this Pokemon, and it made sense, even if it is Scarf, to get them up, because it can't necessarily trap me with this team in mind. Lopunny. Can't speak today. Lopunny here, standard set, Jolly, speed side with Mega Manectric, Encore, Fake Out return, and was supposed to have High Jump Kick for this battle, had Drain Punch. I forgot to change that. Not a big miss, or nothing too badly really, but it's something to keep in mind. Definitely would have preferred having High Jump Kick here for more damage, but a lot of here is really good. Outspeed everything in his team, hurts everything in his team. With Encore, it's very hard for his Suicune to actually survive me, and same with Psygar. If it goes with Dragon Dances, they are not going to be a big issue. If you're going one-on-one, I'm going to Encore that Pokemon before it even starts going, so this is something that makes it very, very easy to deal with. Tentacruel. This set was with Scald, I do believe the other one is called like Acid Spray, to be able to force down special defense by 2, and then we have Toxic Spike and Rapid Spin. This set was supposed to have Rapid Spin for this Wi-Fi battle. It didn't have that, which is something that's going to be really funny in this game. But actually, just a free move to this Wi-Fi battle, it's going to be really weird. I don't know how I forgot to actually add that while I was actually genning the team. That said, primary role here is to get Toxic Spikes. He does have a spinner in Komala, but Komala isn't a big threat, and I don't necessarily see it coming. Now, if it comes, then that'd be fair, but I aren't too scared of it. I think I can deal with it really well. And yeah, Premier role here is, of course, to actually stop Comfy. It can deal with Suicune with, of course, Acid Spray in mind, and yeah, even Tapu Bulu. And both Metagross and Tentacruel here has clear body. The main reason of this is because of sticky webs that could come from Shuckle if it decides to use it. So we're not whittled down by any speed reduction, which means basically that we can deal with Tapu Bulu one-on-one without too much speeding us, though it could be scarfed. So that's an issue to take in mind. But that was the idea with the clear body in mind. So Tentacruel has some speed investment, outspeed a jolly Bulu. It wasn't a lot, I do believe like 24 or something like that was enough to solve that issue. Outside of that, we are especially defensively active to be able to take hits from Suicune. And Comfy, of course, which are the only Pokemon I really should switch into with this Pokemon in mind. Now, last Pokemon is BUZZWOLE, and major thanks to my co-coach Icky Sprite, who helped me design this Pokemon. It's a very different BUZZWOLE, and my god, was it interesting for this Wi-Fi battle, because it did do some work. Now, before going to this battle, I was split between BUZZWOLE and Decidueye, basically the defensive role versus Zygarde and Bulu. And eventually, I actually decided to take BUZZWOLE because it could roost much more safely for much more matchups. Primarily, of course, was that even if Kamala made it, Decidueye is a decent spin blocker, but BUZZWOLE can probably ruin it in a few turns already. So the set here is actually Leech Life, Earthquake, Taunt, and Roost, and it's fully HP, fully Def. Almost close to max Def. It's speed enough to outspeed a +1 Suicune, or not +1, but 1 speed EV in its defensive set. Basically, if this is a Calm Mind set, they are rarely speedy, and if they are, so be it, then it's less bulky. But if I can taunt it, it can set up against me, which is something I'm really going to keep in mind. Just go for Taunt in general. Taunt is really good versus this team. He has a lot of Pokemon that can set up, and there's a lot of Pokemon that can set up hazards. And I am possibly speedy enough to actually outpace them all. So with that in mind, that is a complete team. Now, what I do fear, I fear Suicune. I always fear Suicune. I think it's a terrible Pokemon to be facing. A very good offensive Pokemon that could, or it's not good defensive or offensive, but it's good at keeping offensive momentum by actually being a momentum killer. So that's one I do fear the most. Urashi, if it is a weird set, could be annoying. Comfy, if I actually lose my Pokemon that could deal with Comfy, both of course BUZZWOLE, Garchomp, and Lopunny are ruined by the Comfy. So if I lose Tentacruel or Metagross, I'm going to be in a tough spot versus this. But outside of that, I wasn't too scared about the other ones. I believe the other ones was going to be able to keep them in check, or at least so I thought. Actually, I was very adamant going into this game that I could definitely have control over the battle. So with that said, let's of course see the complete team that I was facing. So yeah, I do believe I faced a rather different team than I was thinking about, and definitely feel that I was over-prepping myself towards Suicune. And this is definitely showcased. We see Shuckle, Mega Electric, Tapu Bulu, Comfy, Urashi, and Zygarde 10%. They are viable. The only one, like I said, I didn't see was Shuckle, and Shuckle is tough for me to deal with. I don't have a way of actually destroying it naturally. And it's going to be overall very tough for me of actually taking it out. Now with that said, and having that in mind, I don't see a spinner, which means Tentacruel can be very nasty for this Wi-Fi battle, but at the same time, he's definitely going to lead off with Shuckle, and I rather go for Taunt with my BUZZWOLE first, and try to outpace him from that. And if I'm really unlucky, he's going to lead off with Urashi, and if it does that, I need to really think of how I play the rest of this match. So yeah, with all of this said, let's of course go into the match. So from the get-go here, he's going to lead off with the Shuckle, and I'm of course leading off with the mailman, the BUZZWOLE. And I'm going to show him turn 1 that you do not fuck around with the mailman. We're going to of course taunt him first turn. We're going to show him that finger. We're going to say, no, bad Shuckle, you do not get up Stealth Rocks or Stick Web versus me, as clearly he don't. So turn 1, it looks really stellar here. I'm actually bringing Tentacruel, predicting him to go for a Toxic Hair. I do not want my BUZZWOLE Toxic Hair, as he can actually pull a double, and probably a very strong one at that, as he's gonna lead off with or send off Urashi. Now I can't take a risk here. I really need these Toxic Spikes up because his team is really fat. I really have to take this option as I switches out to Cyber-X. Now he does the correct play here, it goes for a U-turn. I really couldn't gamble on that. I cannot whittle my Tentacruel down at all. So with that in mind, you know, he's gonna get pivoting to the T-Dog, the monster that actually is Manectric. Now Manectric itself is not too scary. As stated before, I should be fine in this environment as I'm gonna sing Jolteon. As stated before, a bit of a more HP here and special defense, and able to creep the Zygarde 10%. So at this point, you know, we're looking fine. We're looking really good. As hopefully we can tackle this, as I really hope it goes for a Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. It goes for Discharge, it works for me too, of course, as I'm gonna actually retaliate here with a Volt Switch. I'm kind of hoping he would switch out, but it does stay in, go for Hidden Power, which I only can presume is Ice, and it does a fair amount of damage actually, as the Volt Switch roughly does the same. How about that? Toxic is just that strong, so it resisted hits. As I'm gonna bring in Tifa. Probably not the strongest play from my side. I'm actually going to do a very predictable thing here, and I do believe I go for a Brain Punch down at it. I do believe I was in a good spot of pulling that off, but the more I think about it, the more dumber I felt. Or I think I actually went for a fake out when I think about it. Trying to actually remember my series of plays, as it's gonna do nope damage. Actually do Drain Punch. I was kind of cold there, wasn't I? Here's where I realized I don't have high jump kicks, so I can't dent this Pokemon, and I also realized that, you know, we are now in a spot that I do not want to be at, which is that he's gonna get his Stick Web up, and I do not want to trifle with that. As I send in Calypso, my Tentacruel, and all I'm really gonna do is actually go for my Toxic Spikes. Now I don't fear this Pokemon necessarily, and if I get the Toxic Spikes up, I am in a good spot. But here is also where I realized that I don't have Rapid Spin, and this is bad. While I do get Toxic Spikes up, which is really good, I'm also going to see that he's going to go for an Encore, and with that in mind, he's going to basically force me to actually Toxic all his Pokemon if I go for another one of the Toxic Spikes. And I don't want that. I want the Poison residual damage. That is just beautiful. That is the amount of damage I need, basically. So it takes more damage for each turn it comes in, rather than, you know, over time. So we're gonna switch that out and actually bring my Cyber Axe. As I'm still predicting the Toxic play or something like that, but no, he goes for Stealth Rocks, and that's alright. And I'm gonna do a bit of an old prediction here, because I'm kind of feeling that he was going to do something weird. And what I mean by weird is switching out. I felt that Meteor Match was really predictable, so I kind of wanted to avoid that in case it brings something that could resist that, something for Jirachi. He doesn't do that, he stays in and we do nothing, and he goes for an Encore, and I can't dent him at all now. And predicting him to switching out here and trying to bring his Abulo, I'm actually forced myself to switch into Tentacruel. I really need to pull that play in that way, basically, because if I can pull that off, then hopefully I can get some momentum going. But he actually goes, and I really can't stress this enough, for his Infestation. Now, Infestation means that he doesn't have Toxic. That means that BUZZWOLE do not fear the Shuckle, which, you know, it shouldn't, but, you know, as Toxic is a very, very scary thing to think about. So now we know his complete set is Encore, Infestation, Stealth Rock, Stick Web, and I can't spin them away, making actually my Lopunny and Garchomp and even Jolteon kinda bad this game. They are dead by default because of this mistake. So we go for a Skull, basically. If I want to lock myself into something, Skull is the play to make. As he goes for an Encore. Because if I go for the Acid Spray, he can just bring in Jirachi, and I kind of want to force that Pokemon out, and the perk here is the Jirachi, if it comes in, while it doesn't get poisoned, sure, it will possibly get burned, so I think I'm in a good position to just keep on spamming. Since Infestation isn't necessarily helping, I mean, I'm stuck here no matter what. Damn you, Shuckle, damn you. It really is, like I stated here, not having a Lopunny with something like what do you call it? High Jump Kick really made that Pokemon a lot tougher for me to kill, and the Stick Web didn't necessarily help. Now he's gonna go for an Intimidate, and of course, as I said before, I am the cleaner bottom in case Stick Web got up, so I could Rapid Spin them away. Skull actually do a respectable amount of damage here, which is really nice, but he's definitely gonna go for, he could go for a Thunderbolt or Overheat, and I felt that Jolteon is probably my least useful Pokemon, so what I can do is force him to not stay in. Basically force him to sack it. He has to go for a Volt Switch to pull this off, or, you know, hard switch out. So that was my play here, as he goes for an Overheat. Now it's quite alright, Overheat isn't overbearingly dangerous, but it should be stated here that he has to go for a Discharge next turn possibly, or another Overheat to kill me. Hidden Power while it could kill me, you know, I'm not feeling that. So I definitely believe that he's going to go for another overheat, and I do believe Tentacruel can take that damage. I really want him to, as we're going to switch Calypso back on at it. I know this series of play seems weird, but basically here I'm trying to kill the Manectric by forcing him not to switch out. As I go for another whole race, we eat that up without any doubt, really. And now I'm gonna sack play a Jolteon. I was kinda hoping I could survive the Stealth Rock damage and get some HP from the discharge or Volt Switch, but I'm not in that range, and unfortunately I'm gonna actually lose my Jolteon due to it. But it's alright. It's alright, because we stalled out the Manectric by actually not doing anything. We just, well, we made it die to poison, and that's quite beautiful if you ask me. I really believe that was a series of play I had to make to be able to tackle this Manectric, and it worked out just fine, really. So now we get into the fun part, and I'm going to actually speed this up a little bit faster because we have a lot of turns of nothing. Now he's going to bring in the Cataclysm, and I actually decided to switch into my Garchomp. I'm going to do the obvious play here. The obvious play is go for a Poison Jab. He definitely saw this one coming. Since I'm Scarlet, I'm going to outspeed him even with the Sticky Web, so that's quite right. So he does the safe play here, and actually going to switch out. He's going to switch into his Bug Cannon, not risking a possible Earthquake here, which I do believe is fair. Urashi would have been an excellent play here also, but this really works well for us, especially get the Poison Jab out, which doesn't do anything, shouldn't do anything, and quite honestly, you know, it is what it is. Though it should be stated, you know, the grassy terrain, the leftovers, the poison, you know, everything going on here, so I really just had to speed this thing up, because I am forced here to switch into my BUZZWOLE, and BUZZWOLE do too, and really do too. Having those extra, or knowing that he has infestation and not toxic, means that we shouldn't worry too much about him. He can't do anything to me, and due to poison, he will eventually die, because he can't do more damage to me than the poison is doing to him. So he is on a timer, and he's definitely on a death timer here. And basically all I really need to do from this environment is actually go for Taunt. Basically this means that he can't do anything outside of his station, but also means that his switch-ins can set up if they come in, or do something weird. I mean, I'm fearing Stoutlands Blue, I'm fearing Calm Mind, Comfy, I'm fearing Dragon Dance, Zygarde, all of them are here. So basically all I'm going to do here is go for safe play, which is Taunt, and he's actually going to switch this out, and he switches out to the Comfy, which means that this thing can only do what I believe is Draining Kiss, and that's quite alright, so you don't deal with the mailman as well as the mailman deals with you. So with that said, I really can't take a Draining Kiss either, so I kinda need to get out of here, and my ideal play here is actually bringing Metagross. Tentacruel could also work, because as stated here, I could scout for the possible hidden power Fire, which was something I bared in mind. Now he's actually going to pull a double on me and go to Urashi, and I'm here thinking, he only has one more turn of terrain, which means that I could pursue trapping here, hoping he goes for a U-turn, basically showing him here that, and then, you know, possibly starting to scare him. As he goes for Shadow Ball, stays in, so Pursuit will not do too much damage, sadly. Luckily for me though, it doesn't get a special defense drop, which means that we go for Pursuit, we don't do anything, but the reign is over, and that also means the reign of Urashi is over. Now we could have possibly gone for a U-turn here, and that would have been unfortunate. Luckily for me though, he's trying to go for the kill, and this is definitely going to backfire, so he's going to lose the Urashi right here and now, because Earthquake is quite enough to kill this poor little fairy, or steel fairy, I don't know, what are Urashi, like a dream catcher or something, I don't know. Anyway, it did. So here comes Psydosh, and perfect nickname by the way, and I only have one even fair check for this Pokemon, and that is BUZZWOLE. BUZZWOLE can take any physical hit for this Pokemon. Now I could have possibly fear a hidden power flying, but still at that it would not have do too much damage towards me, possibly around 40%. So he's gonna go for the 1000 arrows, and we're gonna basically, I don't know, not care, because I'm pretty sure that I recover more HP from the leftovers than the 1000 arrows are doing to me. That's kind of threatening. That's something you can buy. That it's just that good. Now unfortunately here, and I really mean unfortunately, I do not decide to go for a Leech Life or anything like that. I do actually directly go for a Taunt, in case he was a Dragon Dance set and not a Scarf set, because it didn't do any damage towards me, so It's definitely not banded, is what I could decide for that damage. And front switch out there, yeah, it most likely is scarfed. So the bug cannon here is scarfed, or scarfed, is locked into only going for infestation due to the taunt in mind. So I'm going to decide to go for another taunt because I really have no reason not to, as the infestation is going to, of course, come here, and that's always good, nice, probably not. And really all I can do here, I was actually decided eventually here to go for Leech Life instead. I was really thinking, you know, the Comfy is gonna come eventually, and stop going for taunt could be very, very bad. As the next series of turn here, you know, there is a lot of shit going on here. This is basically what this battle was all about. So I'm actually gonna go for a Leech Life here over for taunt since it decided to stay in. And this is unfortunate because it does mean that this Pokemon is back, and this is not a Pokemon I can deal with well. And also what this means is that, and I really can't stress this enough, I need to actually force switch myself out to my Metagross. Metagross can definitely take a Draining Kiss at 4+1, but it's whether or not I can take a Hidden Power Fire. And with this in mind, I actually decided, let's say that, to switch out, hoping he didn't go for Hidden Power Fire. 2 Hidden Power Fires will kill me. But luckily for me, he just decided to go for a Calm Mind directly. And this is good, because a +1 Hidden Power Fire does not KO me from this range either. So I'm actually going to go for Meteor Mash, hoping and thinking that he knows he can't kill me from this range. And there is no reason to go for Bullet Punch either, because it means I don't get any damage on anything. As he's going to go directly for Draining Kiss, and that's not going to do anything, because we are a Solgaleo and we are a dangerous mon indeed. Really surprised it didn't go for Hidden Power Fire there, but at the same time, he might not actually have it, as Meteor Mash is going to do what Meteor Mash does, and that is boom, dead. Get out of my face, Comfy. As Side Doge come in, I only have one switch in here, and it's going to actually be the last switch in I do for the whole game, and that, of course, is bringing the man, the beast, the monster, that is the Mailman. Because all he has left here now are physical attackers, so I only need to give myself a +1 defense with my Beast Boost, and I should be just fine. So he's gonna go for an Outrage, that not's gonna touch the Mailman. Huh. Poor try, poor try. And since it's locked into that, I can freely here go for a Roost. I don't need to worry here. And basically all I need to is that he gets another round of Toxic, and he should be arranged for an unboosted Leech Life. And basically here, since it's forced to be confused the next turn and goes for a third Outrage, I can definitely just stay and keep on doing what I do, which is basically being a complete ass here. I really can't state this enough. BUZZWOLE is very threatening. As I go for another Outrage here and does of course connect, I'm actually going to decide to go for another Roost again. Debatably, or actually no, I didn't. I was nice. I was trying to remember how did I play this. But yeah, I went right for Leech Life because he was in range, and Leech Life actually recovered quite enough. And his last physical attacker is actually the Tapu Bulu, and it's whether or not it's banded. If it's banded, I'm fine. If it is the Psychium C set, I should be fine. I definitely do not fear this Pokemon. What I could fear is possibly that he goes for Sword Stance. If it does that, we are in trouble, because I actually decided to go for a Leech Life here. But he goes directly, and I really can't stress this enough, for the Shattered Psyche. And as stated here, as before, it is not a danger towards me, because of one reason, and as I am +1 max defense. This is a BUZZWOLE not caring about the Psyche at all. He can take anything, and I'm being a douche by going directly afterwards for Roost, just scouting what he's gonna decide to do, and I think that was correct play indeed. So yeah, we're gonna speed this up a whole lot actually, and he's gonna actually showcase the bulk up. It's quite right. Well, he's a +1, and that's gonna be annoying. I still can go for a taunt. If we go for +2, he should eventually fall. And even if I lose to BUZZWOLE versus this 1-on-1, it goes for a complete bulk his shit is up as he can. The thing is here, due to Clear Body, we should with Acid Spray actually want to KO this Pokemon. So at this point, we are fine. But I really can't stress this enough that I actually only play this defensively and stally because it actually is super stally and quite frustrating to look at now I see it myself. The only reason I did this was because I did forget a Rapid Spin on my Tentacruel, meaning that any offensive Pokemon I could have usable for this matchup didn't work, and luckily my plays actually outpace and outdestroy of course his Pokemon that could kill. BUZZWOLE was dealt with really properly with the other Pokemons indeed, And eventually that basically meant that BUZZWOLE could naturally and defensively just exist in this environment and actually do just fine. So GG Bazika, and really I mean this when I say it, I'm sorry I played the way I did. I know it was kinda stolly. But yeah, with that said, you know, we take a big win again, a 5-0 victory versus a team that should definitely defensively shake me really well. Looking back at it, I was really surprised that, you know, he didn't bring Sukyun. I do believe Sukyun would have done a lot of issues to my team, but instead he decided to actually, of course, try to outpace me with Shuckle. And it did work to some extent, because the more I can reflect on it, you know, eventually I didn't have, of course, the rapid spin, and it definitely made it hard for me to do well this Wi-Fi battle. So for what it's worth, Bazika, I think your prep was really good. With just execution there, what kind of knocked back there, and you know, not expecting a defensive BUZZWOLE, which, you know, who does? Really gonna, like I said before, beginning of this video, thank Akis Price for actually bringing me that set, and bringing, you know, that mindset. You know, BUZZWOLE can actually be a very extremely good defensive Pokemon. With Ruse, you know, we have 108 in HP, 132 in defense. I mean, it's fatter than Hippowdon. That should really just put in perspective how extremely good this Pokemon really can be. And of course Taunt, not Roar, which is unfortunate, nor Stealth Rocks, which is even worse. But yeah, it does the defensive job just fine. It really did surprisingly well versus this match, because it just didn't die. The mailman was here to stay. Snag your girl. But yeah, anyway, guys, you know, thank you as always for watching. I think I stated before, Bazika, for this Wi-Fi bell, and as I said, I'm genuinely sorry. I think it was a terrible way I played. I really don't like playing so defensively as I did here. And next week we're going up against Carl, or the Majunk, or the bearded BGMs. That's gonna be a tough match on its own. So yeah, with that said, guys, thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next video. Till then, take care.